Hello, welcome to another wiki procedure, and today we are going to look on how you can obtain a construction stroke building permit. Down here below we have given you an external link which is going to direct you to our wiki procedure page where we have given you more detailed information on how you can go about the application process. We have also included links to documents which you are going to use in the registration process, and also external links to other websites where you can visit and get more information about the application process. And additionally, we have included a select language option on the right hand side of our screen here, and this will do, this is going to translate the wiki procedure page to the language of your choice. For these purposes of the video today, we are going to choose English. So let's move on. The list of the items which we are going to cover in this session include the need for a construction permit, the eligibility, the required documents, steps to follow in making the applications, the fees supposed to pay, the validity period, processing time, offices and contact information, and any other relevant information. So welcome to our procedure today, which is brought to you by wikiprocedure.com. The need for a construction building permit. Building permits are mainly about safety. By enforcing construction standards, they give you and the occupants of the building the best chance to avoid fire, structural failure, or something as simple as a child getting his head caught between the stair posts. And if you decide to move, the permit process also protects future owners. It keeps your insurance valid. Building done without a permit can mean that your insurance company may not honor your policy, and it's valuable when selling your home. If you perform work without a permit, you can assume a potential buyer will know about it, and the permit process is a matter of public record. So let's move on. The eligibility. A permit from the National Planning and Building Authority is required for private property construction, alterations, or repair work on buildings within the City of Kenya. Individuals and companies and other stakeholders must register with Kenya Planning and Building Authority to be eligible to invest in the construction work in Kenya. The required documents for the building permit include the transfer certificate of title, architectural and structural plans, clearance application form, civil and structural permit, electrical and electronics permit, mechanical permit, sanitary and plumbing permit, fire safety clearance, NEMA approval, bill of quantities, constructors registration certificate, quantity surveyors practicing certificates, architects and the engineers practicing certificate, and the survey plan. And the steps to follow in making the applications are as follows. First, you need to obtain a survey plan from Survey Kenya, and this is done by visiting a Survey of Kenya offices in the Ministry of Lands Department to obtain a survey plan. You should then proceed to request for a folio registry number search when you are at the offices. You are required to provide proof of land ownership when requesting for the survey land, and one is shown the survey plan to confirm that it is the one they have requested for, then issued with a payment authorization slip to go and pay for the survey plan. You are then to proceed and pay for the folio registry number search. You will be required to produce an authorization of payment of this service, which are going to be given from the third point over here, and you'll be charged 150 shillings for the number search. Then you are supposed to confirm the availability of the survey plan and pay for the survey plan. So the number search is going to confirm the availability of the survey plan, and when after the search is done and the availability is confirmed, you are to pay 650 for the survey plan, and this process takes 1 day. So the total cost is 650 plus 100, which amounts to 800 shillings. Second step, after getting your survey plan, is supposed to obtain a project report from an environmental expert. So once the survey plan is obtained, a licensed environmental expert must be hired to prepare a project report which is supposed to be submitted to NEMA. and the project report can take a period of 5 days to complete and cost approximately 50,000 Kenya shillings. The third steps, after obtaining your project report, you're now supposed to submit it to NEMA for approval. So the third step is obtain approval of the environmental impact study or the project report from the National Environmental Management Authority. And this process takes an average of 30 days to get approval. After you've gotten your approval from NEMA, you go to the fourth step, which you're supposed now to get approval for your architectural plans from the city council. So how this is done, you're supposed to submit the architectural plans to get approval, and this is done online. You're supposed to register on this online portal. You're going to visit it and submit all the structural and architectural drawings to be approved. And the steps to follow is supposed to register, submit the plans, pay for the permit fees. The county council will issue with an invoice to go and pay. The structural plans, after you have been given the invoice to go and pay, this usually takes around 2 to 3 weeks. You are supposed now to obtain your structural plans approval notification and submit the architectural plans for signing. The drawings will be reviewed by the county council, by relevant departments in the county council simultaneously, and once the approval and architectural drawings are approved, they will be signed by the governor. When all signatures have been obtained, the approved plans will be scanned and uploaded in the system, so you can be retrieved by the architect. And obtaining so after they have been uploaded, your final step will be obtaining the authenticated architectural and construction permits. So the required documents in this step is the proposed development plan, the survey plan from Survey Kenya, your ownership documents, your up-to-date rates, payment receipts, land rates, and structural plans. And you're supposed to pay a building permit fee, which is based on the size of the building, and the estimate cost is 21,000 per square foot, and it takes a period of 41 days to get the approval. So let's have a quick look on how this looks like. You're supposed to visit Nairobi City Council's e-development permit system and register. Click here to register. You're supposed to register, and only these three if you qualify as an architect, structural engineer, or planner, you can register. But if you are not, you cannot register unless you are an architect, structural engineer, or planner. And by registering, you can be able to now upload your structural and architectural plans for approval. And using your online portal, you'll also be able to access your authenticated structural and architectural plans, which have been signed by the governor, which takes a period of 45 days. So the fifth step now is submitting and obtaining approval of the structural plans. We need to remember the first step was to obtain approval of the architectural plan. So the fifth step is to get approval for the structural plans. So, and this step is done not online, but you have now to visit the County Development and Control Office to make the submission. And the steps are as follows. You're supposed to submit the structural plans, which will be uploaded in your online portal account, which have been authenticated by the governor. And after that, after submitting, then you are going to be given structural plans approval notification, and after that submit the structural plans for signing. And after they have been signed, you'll be given an authenticated structural plans. After that, with approved drawings, with the authentication of the structural plans, now construction may start while you await the processing of the building permit. The following documents are supposed to be submitted for approval: the project plans, architectural drawings, the location survey of the property documents, and any other document which they may request. This process approximately takes 1 day for approval, and it's done free of charge. Sixth step is obtain stamps on architectural and structural plans from Nairobi County Council Development Control Section. So once the plans have been approved, the architect must submit hard copies, and now this we are no longer using soft copies as in the the fourth step. Here you're supposed to bring hard stamped copies to the Nairobi City Council even after submitting the documents online. The engineer must also do the same after the architect's plans have been stamped. The engineer does not have to wait 1 month like the architect to bring the hard copies. It takes approximately 10 days for approval, and the approval is done free of charge. So the seventh step is apply for the project registration with the National Construction Authority, and this is done through visiting the NCA offices, and they'll give you a form to fill. The form can also be downloaded online through their website, nca.go.ke, and it takes around 1 week to get the compliance certificate. So upon submission of the application, the application form, the building company receives a temporary certificate that testifies the registration is under process. And the building company submits the project registration form to the authority with the document listed below: the structural plans, authenticated architectural plans, NEMA approval, bill of quantities, contract agreement, surveyors, quantity surveyors practicing certificate, contractors registration certificate, engineers practicing certificate. They're all supposed to be submitted together with required with the application document, and the building company will then be issued with an invoice on the amount of levy it should pay to the authority and selected bank account, which are posted on the NCA website, and the levy is about 0.5% of the total cost of the project. The percentage applicable to projects with a value of over 5 million shillings. And it takes approximately 1 day for approval, and the approval is done free of charge. The eighth step, now you receive an on-site visit by an NCA officer to check the compliance and obtain now your invoice to go and make payment. And once the application is made, there is a site inspection to check the compliance of the construction site against the approval plans and the NEMA clearance. After the site inspection, the applicant will receive an invoice showing the amount to be paid, which they are supposed to go to pay. And then after payment, now the ninth step is submit your payment receipt, and you'll obtain a preliminary compliance certificate and finally a compliance certificate. So once payment is made, then a provisional certificate of compliance will be issued, which is valid for 90 days. And if later there is no violations to the compliance certificate, the final compliance certificate will be issued, and it takes approximately 7 days for approval. So it actually a tedious process. It has 9 whole processes to go through for you to get the 9 steps to go through to get the certificate. So the fees are as follows: survey plan is 650, registry number 150, NEMA approval fee 10,000 shillings. The building permit is 21,000 per square foot. Building plan approval fee 1% of the estimated cost of construction. Construction signboard is 25,000. Application fees is 5,000. Inspection of the building file 5,000. Occupation certificate 5,000. NCPA levy is 5% of the total cost for buildings above 5 million shillings. The validity period of the registration is 1 year. Then a renewal is required. The processing time is 90 days to get the final building permit. Office location of NCA, they are at Apple area, Kenya Road. You can visit them at nca.go.ke. And other information is that The purpose of the building permit is to give a reasonable assurance that a home is safe from structural failure, fire hazards, from electrical and heating system, electrical shock, and health risk. The permit provides a permanent record of work performed and inspection constructed on the project. And the first reason to obtain a permit is that it's illegal not to have a permit, and if you fail to get a permit for work that requires, you can be fined, and you may be forced to remove a building or tear out a completed work. So thank you for watching Wikiprocedure. Hit the like button, and before we finish the presentation, I just want us to take a quick look on how the registration of the project form looks like. This form, you can download it from the NCA website. Just by project registration is going to take you to the forms, and the project registration form, you can download it there. So the form, you're supposed to fill in the project name, the developers, architect, engineers, and consultants, the cost and everything. Now this is the final document which you are supposed now to submit to NCA together with the structural plans, architectural plans, to get your final building permit certificate. So once again, thank you for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe even to our YouTube channel. Click on the subscribe button, hit the like button, share our video to other friends, and tell them about Wikiprocedure. We have many procedures about different procedures in Kenya. So all the best in obtaining your structural construction building permit. Thank you.